Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. So today's video is a KonMari method review, run through, pros and cons, what worked for us, what didn't. And I asked you guys in my last cleaning video if you wanted to see this. A lot of you said yes, and I'm so excited to share this with you because there's so much hype around the KonMari method. There's so many aspects of it that I absolutely love that have worked for us incredibly. And there's some aspects that I would recommend you probably just pass on by, so I'm going to share all of it in this video. We're going to walk through like our closets and storage and all that stuff of all of our clothes and what we use on a daily basis, what's KonMari to what's not and why, and just like a bunch of tips throughout the video. So I hope you enjoy this. If you do, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. We're now in my bedroom, as you can see, and I wanted to start in here because this room has definitely undergone the most changes when it comes to KonMari. There are a lot of things I did in my first impressions video of KonMari. I'm gonna link it below for you if you haven't seen it, that I just shifted around and updated to make with our lifestyle. And I've got a lot of tips that I think will save you guys time if you decide to do KonMari, so I'm gonna get into that right now. I'm going to start with this dresser, and this is my husband's dresser, and we share a sock drawer, so everything in here is his except for the socks are like 50-50. But socks KonMari is one thing that I have not stuck with. As you can see, all of our socks are just like the regular fold, how a lot of people do it, where you just have a sock inside of a sock and fold it inside out. Honestly guys, this is so much easier in my opinion. I feel like it is so hard to keep all of the socks perfectly aligned, and especially if you're in a hurry, and just since socks are so flimsy in the first place. So if it's not a full row, I just feel like it falls apart so fast. This is just 10 times easier because I just like flip open a sock, flip open another one, and fold it inside of each other instead of like perfectly flattening them and then rolling them. Honestly, it is a lot, so that's just why I stuck with the not fancy folding inside of each other. The next one are his tank tops, his workout tops, and his long sleeve tops. So there's just a couple things I want to warn you guys and fill you in on. And for the long sleeve tops, everything works out fine. For the workout tops, that like slippery material, I feel like KonMari folding is so hard for those because like in the back here it just kind of falls over, so that's something definitely to be aware of. Like his tank top right here, he has tank tops in this entire row. That one just fell over since it's a workout fabric and slippery, and the rest of them that are just a cotton has stayed perfectly folded. I know with the workout stuff, some things I folded smaller. So like his workout shorts right here, I folded these in half and then I folded them in thirds, and that is the only way that they've stood up because again, they all are that really slippery workout fabric. So yeah, that fabric, I keep talking about it, but it is a hard one to KonMari. Sweatpants again, or anything really bulky, is also hard to KonMari. It just takes up a lot of space that way, folded in thirds instead of just like folded in half and then flatten upwards. But being able to see everything at the same time is such a huge bonus. And my number one favorite thing to KonMari are t-shirts. It's just the most practical thing in the whole world when it comes to t-shirts because like you guys can see the labels and the prints and everything on these shirts. When Chad is opening this drawer, he can see exactly what he's reaching for. He doesn't have to like run through a big stack of clothes and find something. He sees it, he grabs it, he goes, and like you can see right here, if it's folded the right way, it should stand up and not just fall over, unless it's the workout stuff, which no one talks about. But I love it for t-shirts. And down here are all of his t-shirts that are either a solid color, stripes, or just anything that is simple that doesn't have like any wording or pictures on it. So yeah, everything in here I like to color coordinate too, as you guys probably noticed. As much as I can, I'm not like super crazy about it, but starts at the lightest and then it gets darker. Same thing in this drawer, if it'll focus for you. There we go. So all of his whites, his lights, his grays and blacks. And I just can't get over it for t-shirts, guys. If you're going to start with KonMari, start with t-shirts because it's gonna make it worth it. And the last drawer in there is his boxers and underwear. Guys, I just fold them in half and then in half again. That is it. And I have like stacks and rows in there. It's not KonMari'd at all. I did try KonMari for bras and underwear, but I didn't stick with it. I just felt like it was a waste of time, honestly. Like, especially for guys. He grabs it, he goes, he doesn't even look through it and see which ones he's picking out. So yeah, just stacks the old-fashioned way is what's worked for us. And now for Chad's closet, and I know KonMari is obviously about folding, but we all have hanging space, so I just wanted to share with you guys what's worked for us, because this has completely changed several times, and I feel like we've nailed down what makes the most sense, at least for Chad. So up here is all of his work shirts and dress shirts. Basically anything that has a collar is hung up. I do my best to keep it the lightest to darkest. Sometimes it's not perfect, but he's a guy, so I feel like it looks pretty good. His pants are down here, his shorts, sweaters, cardigans, and sport coats go back here, and there's a little bit up here too, but I just put those off to the side because he doesn't wear those as often, so there's no reason for them to be front and center. Now his nicer shorts go right here, so do his denim shorts. I'm not seeing any denim shorts, so they must be in the laundry. One thing I used to do is I used to have his denim on one side and then his work pants on the other, and his nicer pants, I guess, but they were always intermixed within like 3 days, so I'm not gonna fight something for no reason. It's not a big deal. He's a guy. I feel like his pants can just be all intermixed in one, and it's not a big deal. And this stool actually goes right there. I just have to have that stool because our sweatshirts are all up here. I don't KonMari those. It's just because of the storage space that we have. We don't reach for sweatshirts a ton. When we do, I just hop on that stool and grab them, so they're all just folded the regular way. And now we're in my closet. I'm gonna show you guys all the drawers, what those are looking like, the closet behind me, just like an update on that stuff, what I've stuck with the KonMari method on, and a few things I've strayed away from the traditional KonMari folding method just because I feel like it makes a lot more sense for me. I've shown up here so many times, you guys are familiar with this, just things I like, things that are new, things I wear all the time, things that are hard to fold. And the first drawer down here is sweaters. So this is KonMari folded, as you can see. It's not extremely perfect. I have strayed away from that for sure. I feel like it's almost impossible to keep everything so perfect. And one thing I've noticed are the sizes. So sometimes if I'm not folding where something is going to be put away, it's a different size than everything else. Not a huge deal, but if you're like really specific, then you might want to pull out something that's already folded and bringing it to where you're folding your laundry so you can make sure it matches up. And the denim drawer for sure is not folded the traditional KonMari way, and that's because I need to be able to see the butt pocket on my denim, so it does look sort of bulky and not perfect, but I just feel like this makes so much more sense. If I can't see the pocket, I don't know for sure what pair of jeans it is, and it's just so annoying when you pull out a pair of jeans and unfold them and they're not what you think they are. Of course, that's not the end of the world, but I feel like I'm always in a rush. I'm sure you guys can relate, and sometimes I just don't have the time to refold it right away. So that is one thing I definitely recommend, is just fold them in half and then roll them up to where the butt pocket on your denim is sticking out. And in this drawer, I have shorts that are not denim. I guess I could also put the denim shorts in here. They're up here in this drawer. I definitely have the space for it. I have a bunch of pants that aren't denim, and then I have skirts over here. Lots of space, and then right here are thinner sweaters. So these ones I don't want to put in here because all of these sweaters are thicker, and I don't want to hang these up either because they are heavier, so I don't want to stretch them out. And the last clothing drawer is this one. So all my t-shirts and tank tops, and I do like to go from light to dark again. It's probably harder to tell just because some have prints, some don't, and here they all are mixed together. And as you guys saw in Chad's, I separate them, but I don't have a ton of t-shirts, so it just made sense to do it this way. A few long sleeves, and then tank tops and camis right here, again from light to dark. I know a lot of you have seen this closet many times, so I'm just gonna run through real quick, but for dresses especially, that's something I don't recommend folding. I see no reason to fold dresses. Definitely want to use up all of the vertical space I have there. And over here are cardigans and lighter weight jackets. Basically anything that opens in the middle, things like that are impossible to fold. It always just looks so uneven and bulky. So I definitely recommend that you save hanging space for things like that too. And another thing I do not KonMari fold at all are our towels. I don't KonMari fold any of them. I'm going to show you guys how they're laid out and what works for us. But just based on the space that we have, I don't think it would make sense And honestly, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, this works for us just fine. And this is where we keep almost all of our towels. I'm gonna run through where the rest of the towels are in just a second, but the bath towels are up here. I love the rolling method for bath towels. It's my favorite folding method for towels by far, for several reasons. One, I think they just look so much nicer. It looks like a hotel or a spa. They also take up the entire length of the shelf. Like, as you can see, this is all that's left. So there's no like folded rows in the back and then folded rows in the front. It's the same towel front to back. And on this shelf is hand towels and just like house cleaning towels. And I do have a few of these reusable pads for floors. I have 3, just one here right now, but here and here is basically the same thing. That's all the house cleaning towels, stained hand towels. It's basically towels I could use for anything. And then in the middle, this is where the nicer ones are. So the ones that are not stained as of yet, for like sitting at the sink in the kitchen. And then right here are the hand towels for bathrooms. Down here typically is filled up, but we have tons of towels just for like house projects that have paint and stain on them and stuff like that we keep right here. And then the beach towels go on this side. I wonder where the rest of them are. Down here is a little bit of a hot mess, but I've talked about that in some previous videos. We're in the bathroom now, and this is where I keep face towels. And this is just the regular fold. It's not KonMari. Again, just in half and in half again. Super fast, super easy. And over here, I do keep extra bath towels. That way, someone's never in the shower without a towel when they come out. It's almost always filled up, but real life, it's not right now. And especially if you have your towels out and on display, I just think they look so much nicer rolled compared to a regular KonMari towel fold. And before I go, I just have a couple tips for you. These are things I wish I knew when I started KonMari that I would have found really, really helpful. So the first thing is the drawer depth that you have to work with is literally everything. I have 2 drawers in my bedroom and a smaller dresser. It's like my workout clothes and my pajamas. These are a hot mess, a complete mess. And I did KonMari these a long time ago, but I had so much space left over on top. I KonMari'd again, and as you guys know, the whole point of KonMariing is to be able to see everything at the same time. So I definitely wasn't seeing everything at the same time when there were 2 rows of stuff. So those drawers I might just not KonMari and stack top to bottom again like the regular way. I keep telling you guys I'm gonna do that and get around to it, and I haven't yet. But if you have really deep drawers, it may be hard for you to KonMari at all. My next tip is anything that is really bulky. It may not be worth KonMariing at all depending on the space that you have. So you guys saw that I do KonMari sweater fold my sweaters. I said that weird. I KonMari fold my sweaters because I have those drawers that are they're not very deep, and they're also really, really wide, so I have tons of space for that. But for example, in Chad's closet, I hang up all of his sweaters. One, we just don't have anywhere else to put them, but I also know that they just wouldn't stay folded. So yeah, you really have to figure out what's gonna work for you. There's no perfect method for everybody. My next tip is get to know your own space. Not everybody is on YouTube. I know we watch these videos for ideas and inspiration, and it's just super interesting. I love seeing how people store their stuff. But at the end of the day, we all have completely different spaces. Some of you guys have tons of hanging space, some of you guys all in a dresser, and I obviously have a strange setup with my husband's stuff in our room, and then I have a different room with stuff. So there really is no perfect way to KonMari for everybody because we all have completely different storage situations. And my last tip, if it's not working, don't fight it and move on to something else. I feel like the pants example in Chad's closet was a perfect, like, smaller example. How I would love to have his shorts and then his denim and then his dress pants. And the pants, he always just has them all mixed in the same thing, which that's not a big deal. So now I just started putting his pants wherever, as long as they're in the same pants section. If you find yourself constantly like refolding your spouse's or your child's clothes in a certain drawer or category of their closet, redo it to something else that's gonna work for both of you, because we all have a lot of things on our plate and you definitely don't have time to keep redoing the same thing over and over again. And that completes this KonMari review, tips, ideas, what worked for me, what didn't video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I have recent videos below for you. I have like house products, things I love, so much more in that description box. I always fill it up. I'll put the hair clips too, reviews. I know you guys are gonna ask about those. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you. Please hit the like button if you found this helpful. You also can hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload, and I will see you guys right here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye.